and thing, right? And we're not coming to our senses and realize, hey, this thing really had nothing to do, and it's just to take, it's just to wear we out, it's to wear we out, get we tired, take we money, get all the other nations and them rich and thing, and while we continue to suffer all in the ghettos, right? Suffer all in Labre, suffer all in Point Fortin, Port of Spain, right? Suffer all Arima, Komoto, La Hoketa, right? All the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, right? We just keep on following all these pagan holidays and things, following all these pagan traditions and them when it come wrong and have nothing to do with us, and we just lost, right?
Right.
So tonight we go see we go just touch on because this week here, November the 1st, and the second is all. The first one is All Saints Day, and the second one is All Souls Day, right? And then after that, it still has some more pagan holidays that come, like the Wali. Some people say the Wali, right? We don't really care, right? That's right. And then after it, Christmas to come. Then we think it's not one like I don't think the Muslim Ramadan or anything come as it.
I think right before All Saints, the day before All Saints is following.
Right, and then after, yeah, and good one there, Officer Michael and all too with the Halloween and all too. So I think that will be Saturday or Friday, the 31st.
Yeah,
the 31st. So all these dates and things set again for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, and for we to just be lost. And all it seems nice, but it's really evil in the eyes of the Most High, because the Most High ordained things for us to follow, and as we go through the scriptures and all tonight, we go see the things and all what the Most High ordained for us to follow, and we'll see that even with all these holidays and all these international holidays, there's not one of these the Most High things ordained. Because why? These are not about the Most High. These other nations is God enemies, and they will never be for the Most High, right?
Right.
So we will go to Deuteronomy 28:1.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 1.
So like, before you give me that, give me Deuteronomy 28, give me Deuteronomy 1 and 1.
Come. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1 and verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this side Jordan, in the wilderness, in the plain over against the Red Sea, between Paran and Trophel, and Laban, and Hazeroth, and Zahab.
Right. So you see now at the beginning of the book, right? It is addressed to the nation of Israel.
Right.
Again, the Most High was not talking to the other nations and thing, and the Most High never talked to the other nations and them. So wherever a Christian pastor telling you, and wherever the Muslim was telling you and all them thing, that is lies and thing, right? So when we go to the Muslim mosque and all too, right? When you check back and thing, right? So when we check all these prophets and them, right? All these prophets had one name, the call the Most High, right? Which we know today as Yahweh, right? So now when we come today and think, this Muhammad now, he come and say that the Most High name is Allah and thing. God never ordained any other nation to preach the laws and statutes, right? And God never changed, the Most High never changed his name, right? So that the foolishness, and after we have a lot of black brothers and things caught up in this Muslim mosque and all, when that is a man who come and study with history and turn against the Israelites and things. And just as Christianity, we was forced into Christianity, a lot of lives been lost into Christianity with people, right? The same thing come and happen to we brothers and them and all too. The same thing, the Muslim, the whole Muslim thing was forced on us and all too, right?
Right.
That why a lot of we brothers and all too end up in this and all too, and that come down there. So now, same thing, Christianity was forced on us. Now the Muslims and thing was forced on us and all too, and that have nothing to do with us again, right? So when we see this again, so at the start of Deuteronomy 1:1, it says that who are they talking to? Israel, nobody else. Alright, so when we say Israel and all too, that meaning that nobody else can preach this book, and then after now, we have to watch out now for we own brothers and them now. We own Israelite brothers, them who is in the white, who is in these other nations' pocket and them, right? Who is getting doctrines and not according to the Bible and preaching it to we see blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, right? And all these other philosophies and them. Because we in the church and thing, we obeying God when we really and truly sinning against the Most High. So that's the church will have a nice way to feel because hey, Sunday I go in the church and thing when you check that and all too. You're not supposed to be in nothing because all this thing come from Sunday worship and all too, right? So all them things will make you feel like yeah, because you're in the Christian church and thing, yeah, you're obeying the Most High. When again you're going against the Most High and thing, right? Because all these things in the Christian church, there's nothing about in the Christian church they're preaching the Bible. First thing they don't tell the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian man that hey, you is the 12 tribes of Israel, you is the black, you is the people is in the Bible. God is talking to you, is the closest people to God on the face of the earth, and they don't tell you that hey, these are the nations and them and thing. No, they know that, and that's why these are the nations against us, because they know we being close to the Most High, they is the closest thing to that being the strongest nation on the face of the earth. The closest army we have to the Most High, right? So they wouldn't let us know that, right? They want us to continue falling, they want us to continue beating up our brothers, killing our brothers, robbing our brothers and thing, right? And sinning against the Most High, most important, right? So we go to Deuteronomy 28 and 1 now.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
So now as we read in Deuteronomy 1 and 1, so now we know who Moses is talking to, right? Moses is talking to the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, right? Which is the nation of Israelite, which is all these people from Venezuela, Colombia, Brazil, Argentina, Peru, right? Which is all the people in Chile and all these Negroes and what we call the first people and them, right? And thing today, right? So this is all the people in Jamaica, Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, all these other people, and also now in America, and when we go up to Canada, all like the Seminole Indians and them, right? And also like the Native Indians and them, which is God today, right? So this is the people who God is talking to, right? In the Bible, right? These are the people who God gave his laws to, statutes and judgments. I love to say that, yeah, God created everybody. So why when the I.S.U.P.K is out on the streets now telling people that hey, we is the ones to be ruling the earth. We is the ones should be directing all these other nations and them. So now when we tell now, so because of the Christianity in the Christian church now that the Christian church make we feel that we on the same level with all these other nations and them and things. So now that brainwashing your head from young, so now to come and hear that hey, we is not to be following these other nations and we're not on the same level as these nations and them, and most of all, we as God chosen people, and then after now, we being God chosen people, we have laws, statutes, and judgments to follow. So just like how we have a mother and father, and they will set things in the house and we have to follow it, and if we don't follow it, and thing they will punish us. So now this is what happening here. The Most High give us things to follow. He did not give the other nations and them things to follow. He gave us things to follow and thing, right? And what we do, we decide we don't want to go and follow things. So here the Most High say now. So as we say in scripture now, we say now we give us laws, statutes, and judgments, right? So now he will set us above. He'll set us high above all these other nations and them. He didn't say beneath and thing. He didn't say between. He said he'll set up above all these other nations and them, right? If we follow and do these things and them, right? So when we watch wrong today and thing, we as the nation of Israel, right, being so close to the Most High, we is at the bottom, right? So that is when we watch today, that really a big embarrassment for our nation so close to the Most High. and thing right, and you watch around and you're seeing what is going on to blacks, Hispanics, and it. When you turn on the CNC news and thing, you're seeing 3 being murdered and thing and thing. And after we right and thing right, then after now when you go back again, the next all the other channels and them TV6 and all these things and things, they don't see the other nations and them, being murdered. And if you do see sometimes these other nations and them being murdered and things, they will see they come and protest, just like the last time with the fishermen in the sea and thing, right? When all the blacks, Hispanics and them being murdered in the streets of Port of Spain and thing. When you check the statistics for the year, it's 400 and something and thing, and the majority of that is blacks, Hispanics. You don't see, but when just the other about 7 of them earlier up this year and thing, they get murdered and thing, and you see it now, they come out in the streets and thing, right? So this is how we just be feeling every day when and every day basis that is happening to all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians and them. Somebody mother is crying, somebody father is crying, somebody grandmother is crying, because that is the people them being murdered in the streets every day. But when they are just 7 or anything, or they feel the road, and that was it, or they come out or they protest and thing and say why people get murdered and thing. And when you check the scene behind it and all too, the things that them were going on and all too, because these other nations were oppressing we and all too.
Right.
So I think some of these things and all too, we own fault not disobeying the Most High, not following the things that them we Most High doing. And the others is now the other nations them oppressing us and all too. Because why? We not following and observing the things that the Most High say to observe, right? And now we're going to see the flip side of these things and them when they do come, right? So give me
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and all his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So now, we disobeyed. If we go against, we didn't keep the Most High law. The Most High said curses will come upon, right? So when you say curses, punishment and thing, right? So when we watch that day now again when you watch that day, who is it? When you check when you check the whole of the property trade and the big, who is the people and them on all the minimum wage and them, right? When you check the day and thing, right? Who is the people and them like living in shacks and thing, right? And thing, right, is we. And thing, right, when you check the day and thing, who's the people and them having ease to send the children to universities and thing is the other nations, right? When we struggling, that's the ends meet, that's the get we children, that's the from the secondary level and thing, right? And I just certain thing. Most of the time, when you check the mass majority of the nation, are we from secondary level. And there's 1 or 2 and things like that, and the percentage there is really failure to the black, Hispanics, and Native Indians. They're not reaching the university levels and all these things and things, and showing and all too, and all bases how all at any time these other nations and them are above we and all too, right? So that's some of the curses and everything. So now we just go into one of the curses and them again we're upon me right now, right? You give me Deuteronomy 28 and 64. So when we watch it, we can't, some people go come now, just as the day and thing now, the discriminate, they come and say, hey, Christ is a white man as white supremacy reach now the takeover as years going by now. They say Christ is a white man. So now being him in power and thing, all that could be wiped away. So now we have all these now, all we black Hispanics and them now have all these thoughts in here that Christ is white now. So again now when I.S.U.P.K come on the scene now and thing, to say that Christ is black again, people are hesitating to think now and think right. But again, if you're for the Most High and if you're for your nation and thing, you go happen to the Bible, right? That spirit go be there for the nation of Israel and be there for the Most High. Same thing now they come and do it with King James and thing, right? So again, for we to move away from the Bible and things. So Christ now, so we are the oppressor now, put we in slavery, and now we have a white Christ and thing now. Now come again now, they come now and start to put stigma on King James now and say King James is a homosexual now, for we to move away from this Bible. When you check this Bible today and thing, right? The only thing could be the only book with full of righteousness, full of how for a man to live with his wife and thing. Full of all the knowledge how for a man to deal with his children, full of the knowledge how a man to deal with his brethren, full of knowledge to deal with things of the world and thing too. When people sick and thing, when people are to bury all these things, one book on the face of the earth and thing, and all the people say, boy, a man write that and thing, but right through from ever since, what was things, a lot of people always come with negative things to move away blacks, Hispanics, and come say Christ is a white man and thing, when you show it in Bible and thing that one. Then after now they go come, you draw that point to them, now they come and saying King James is a homosexual and thing, for we to move away again from it and then after now you come and thing and say, boy, man write that and man write that and all kind of this and that again for we to move on. When the Mosai was always talking to men again to spread that knowledge to all these different prophets from ever since, from the first to the last, everything, all right? And even today continue again. So if we know the knowledge of the Mosai and thing, right, we gonna know that the Mosai cannot talk to we and thing, right? So again come to the I.S.U.P.K and you gonna know why it is the Mosai again cannot talk to we, but why the Mosai will use men to spread that word and spread that spirit, right, on men, right? So you could be of the Mosai, had that righteousness on you, right? So when we go to Deuteronomy, after that, Deuteronomy 28. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 28 64.
Yeah, can.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
So there's some things right in 64 now. So one, right? Moses says scatter we among all people, right? So now when we watch it day, right, and Trinidad, right, today right now, right, we are amongst these other nations and them, right? So we are among East Indians and them, we are among Chinese and them, right? Right? We are amongst Syrians and them, right? We are amongst whites and them, right? So we are amongst all these other nations. So this is one prophecy and all taking place here, right? So now the another is this now too. And now we shall serve other gods and thing, right? So now again we brothers and them all in the Muslim mosque and them, right? And thing, right? Things we forefathers never knew, right? Now we serving these things again. And thing now when we go back to the Christianity now, again now we serving Caesar, white Christ, white Jesus, which is Caesar Borgia today, right? Which was Pope Alexander's son, right? When you check back this man whole history, this man was a murderer, a homosexual, a pedophile, right? Anything bad you think about extortionist, anything bad you think about, right? Now we serving this man again in Christianity and thing, right? And all the wicked doctrines they have and thing, right? And all the philosophies and thing, right? Which is not ordained by the Most High and thing, right? So now we can't say that, people will say that, hey, that Bible thing, the Bible is real. And it's real for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. When you watch wrong today, this is exactly what happened now. And now we don't know, we're not serving anything, we're not doing anything to the forefathers, we are not serving that one and living power, which is the Most High, right? Today. And we're not doing that. And now when we check wrong today, we are wrong all these other nations and them, and being wrong these other nations and them. Again, if you're not of the nation of Israel and thing, is a heathen, right? And when we say heathen and all too again, right? Heathen mean also somebody ungodly, and it also mean the other nations and them, right? So now we picking up all these heathen customs and all too. So now back then and thing, we forefathers I know, hey, that would be calling these other nations and them heathen and thing. Now watch what is going on now too. So now we can consider ourselves be called heathen because we're picking up all these heathen customs and them. And as we And as we go by, right, in the scriptures and thing, we go start to see what it is talking about and thing, right? So we start to pick up all these heathen customs and thing, right? But first, right, first we go let's run through some of these. We go run through some of these. We have some holidays and thing, and we go run through the holidays and them what in the world, what blacks, Hispanics and them Native Indians, wherever you are celebrating. We have some of these international holidays and them where they celebrate, we're celebrating all over the world, right? At the same time, and then after now we have holidays and all wherever you is in that land and all too. So now when right here in Trinidad and Tobago, we go share some of these holidays and them and what present right now, which one will come in right here and what done going and what to come, right? So and you go see if any of these things are ordained by the Most High. And now when we go in the Bible and thing, you will never find none of these things on them again ordained by the Most High, and you'll never find none of these holidays on them in the Bible, and none of these things on them what is in the Bible in the world and all too, right? So when we check January, right? January we have the 1st of January, right? So that holiday, international holiday, right? Where all over the world people celebrating again, and the nation of Israel shall never be celebrating that, right? Two things, right? So that one. So when we go back in history and thing, right? That January the 1st, right, is really we celebrating this Roman god named Janus, right?
Right.
Right? And that the big god at the beginning. So know what, and then after now, when they come with the same thing, just as Janus, they come with January, right? And on the second half now, right, as the Officer Makaka Ballad end up teaching, or you could look back and you all could go back and look at the same class and go back and look at the class. New Year's Day was a day they used to be selling slaves and thing, right? That actually was the worst day. That actually was the worst day for slaves and thing, right? Because when New Year's Day come around and thing, right? So that's like how we know, like back then, if you know, like we celebrating something and it's really nice and thing, we wait till it come back over, like, you know, the Passover, we come back, you know, we're gonna eat. So things we know we was following and thing, right? You know that that niceness and that we waiting for it to come back. So now these slaves and them know when all New Year's and thing reach, this is the time now that be sold to other plantations and thing, and more wicked plantations and all where there was one, right? So now again, so when we check back today, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian man again, you know, we have no right to be celebrating New Year's. So two, it is not ordained by the Most High for us to celebrate, and this is actually a time that was using this itself to actually sell slaves, right? So now, so see for yourself now, so this is January here, so you see again, so this is the thing, number one, again, holiday, number one, you will see it, the holiday right in red, right? So we're going in again now, so any holiday, if I miss anything, you're gonna tell me right off at the mic, right?
Yeah, come on. So
we're going to February, right? So February, you go see now the 24th and the 25th, right? Right? So that was Carnival, right? And when we check back this again too, Carnival was ordained by the Christian church, right? Now, before, back then, this same Carnival, that was really what used to be ordained, that all these sexual things used to be taking place in the Christian church. So now, as time go by, the keeper celebrate, it end up coming, like moving away from in the church itself now, right? And now into like what we call in the streets and thing now. So all this partying now and thing, it move away in the streets, which it is ordained by the Christian church. Because when you check back, like every year check back around now, And I think this is where they start Lent. This is where they start Lent from. So as the carnival finish itself, Ash Wednesday come, and you know now that the beginning of Lent day now, right? So now every year anything now, the Christian church does set, what people don't know is this same thing. The Christian church, but it's set carnival. Carnival they don't come around by the businessmen and set dates and things. It's the Christian church what is set carnival and all to again. And when you check back and all to, if you know, and this is one other thing again too, this is not ordained by the Mosai and all too, because now when we check this and all too again, the Mosai, when you check things like in Ezekiel and all too, the Mosai give us clothing to wear and how a man attire should be. And when you go like in Timothy and all too, how a woman apparel, how a woman should be in modest apparel and all too. So now we know that these things is not at the Mosai, right? And think because a woman should be modest. And now we see a woman in two-piece. Some of them that just having something that's over the nipple and there's something over the nipple and in D-string and all them things. So now we know that. And then right after that now again now. So after we have the carnival now, we have but this one is to be announced. We have Valentine's, we have the Valentine's Day again, right? We'll come around now. So now we get the whole history of this and thing. It's about homosexuality. Don't know already again now. The whole thing behind it, all the pushes, this about gift and all thing. But when this really start with two homosexuals and them, and then after now the whole thing in the army, and then after now we check all the heart now everybody thinking is a heart, that is not the shape of a heart. When you check a human heart, it more look like kind what I say?
So like a muscle.
Yeah, like a muscle,
Yeah.
right? So now they give you this and tell you this is a heart, right? When you go back the whole history, that how the soldiers and them, right? For them also be good soldiers, they would take the young men and them and send them in whole house, right? And send them in whole house and thing, right? And now they would have gone have sex, right? And this was the symbol. This was the symbol for the whole houses and them, right? So it's an upside down, right? So now they take the heart, so they give it that, right? And thing, right? But that is not the heart, right? But this is the symbol, right? So all you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, all you're running around, right? So now we're seeing this right there. Sorry for my joy and thing, right? But we're running around playing hearts and all kind of thing on we hand and all things. So that want tattoos and thing, right? That is not at the Mosai again, right? So all these things again in the world we follow and we don't know. So wherever I see the I.S.U.P.K doing, if you see the president not doing something, it is that we following the Mosai. If you see we doing something, it is of the Mosai and thing, right? So if you see we not doing something, it is not of the Mosai, right? And if you see we doing something, it is of the Mosai, right? So now you all like for when Valentine's come around, I set a heart, and then after for you all people all taking hearts and thing, what that really is a woman that is really a woman behind, and the arrow is really a rod. That was a man rod going into these holes and and this is that was to show that hey, the loss of virginity and the right to go and fight and be in the arm and now that whole Valentine's Day come from two soldiers and then after it ordained by the Valentine that Pope and thing, right, and after spread and keep on to spread that philosophy and all them things. So that again that have nothing to deal with the I.S.U.P.K. And as time goes by, every event come around, the I.S.U.P.K will be there to teach this knowledge and to the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And because the Christian church won't teach it, because all these things belong to the Christian church. These things is not really Mosai, right? So now we get through to New Year's, Carnival, right? Valentine's Day, right? So So in March, so in March, I have the, you see it here now, on the 30th, I have the 30th, that orders be for the holidays on them, right? I think this one is just this is just a local holiday now, right? It's not an international, international one, right? But this is what again now they just spread and they say Baptist Liberation Day now. So every time we come around now, all we people and them again feeling that there's Africans and whether it's Africans and all kind of thing again, right? And following African tradition and feeling it's Africans when again we is not Africans according to the Bible, right?
Right.
And according to history, people who came across here, right, is the nation of Israel, right? Again. So again now we people again lost now and again we following things again, we not supposed to follow anything again. So again, another one come again, not ordained by the Mosai and thing, and one again come again with forefathers. They know, and now again, because again we are among these other nations and them, they're giving us things, they're telling us, hey, this is the history, when that is not the history and thing. How could our other nation teach you history and thing? So somebody to teach you history had to be of you and thing. That's the only how you go get to know your history and thing, right? And thing, not the other nations and them, right? So we have in April here, right? So we're in April. So now we have Easter Friday and Easter Sunday, but they push it because that is Sunday, they push it to the Monday, right? So now when we check this and all two again, right? Again, the command they give we Easter egg and all them thing, and the whole thing behind that was this was our next Roman. This was our next woman, God, S30, and thing, right? A woman with check, and thing, a woman with about 12 breasts and things again. When you check out, you will never find today a woman, you will never find a woman today with 12 breasts and thing, because a woman only have 2 breasts and thing. And this is all these things the Christian church pushing and thing. And when you check again, things with no meaning, no sense and thing. And this is how the Christian churches make somebody who have come and said make them look like they do have no sense at all.
Right.
And this is again we're going on with Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. So Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you all need to come to the I.S.U.P.K. because all these holidays here where they're pushing in Trinidad and Tobago have nothing to do with Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We have things to follow the Mosai ordained for us to follow, right? So we going again. So we in May. So in May they give we the had Eid-for-Tur, right? And Indian arrival day, right? So again now this is the holidays for the East Indians and them, right? And then after now you go see again now. Again we have laws again to follow things again, not of the Bible and things.
Right.
And now we go see we sisters and them putting on sari and all them thing and now again making themselves as just as everything again, making themselves heathens and thing, right?
Right.
And thing, because now you put on something what do belongs to you, your culture, and going and celebrate somebody else's culture. And most of what we do not again, the Messiah that wrote at you, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, because we're not supposed to be around these other nations celebrating them things and them, right? These other nations, them and them, right now, this is them time right now and thing, right? We have to come back to the law, statutes, and judgments to the Mosai. So again, all these things again, when you check back out again, Indian arrival day, and all kind of thing, right? Right. And going and praying, Indian arrival day coming after now, we're going and pray to Mother Lashmi and Lord Shiva and all these Brahma and all these other gods. And then after these gods, and then you could go and You could go and get them in a shop and thing. You could take money and buy these gods and them. That makes sense for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian, man. You go and follow something that they're making and selling in a shop. It don't make sense, right? So in June here, we have two. We have Corpus Christi, but the Christians say that they celebrate the blood of Christ. But when you check the Christian church again, and Christ was all about the laws and thing. When you check Matthew 5 and 17 and thing, right? And then after you check John 14 and 15 and all these other verses and them, right? Where people and things, God say he always talking about the laws and things. So when you check this in about the blood of Christ, there's nothing about things, because all the Christian church, again, they come with all these Roman gods, they're celebrating all these Roman gods. They say as we check as January, right? That belongs to a Roman god. Then we have Easter, right? And thing, right? Then you have the Christian church again, having marrying men, marrying women, and thing, right? And all these other, and the rest goes. Then you have again, the raping little boys and all kind of thing, right? And then after they come and tell you celebrate Corpus Christi about the blood of Christ and all kind of thing, when when the Christian church there's nothing about Christ. And then now they give us Labor Day again, right? What blacks and Hispanics and man always joining trade unions, and when they again we join with all these other we go and join with all these other nations and them for equality, and there was never inequality and thing. When you go and check all these things and them, but all these other nations and them above us and thing. And now when you watch today again, who the people and them again, when you check all the people and them going home, who the people really being hurt today right now, right? Who the people being hurt when all these jobs and all these other places closing down work and all these things. Where is the trade union for the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian? But all these other nations, they still at ease and thing, right? When we check, this year they passing laws for gathering and thing, but seeing these other nations and them on beaches, liming and thing, but they could come against the black man for just gathering by the North Sea by a boat and thing and embarrass them, put them on the ground, put them on boat. But where was Gary Griffith to pull all these other nations and them together and thing? But you see again now, when we come now, everything together with these other nations and them. So they use all things Labor Day, all are we coming together for righteousness and thing. But when you check back the end results and thing, ever from sins and thing, they know there was never no justice for the black man. The East Indians and them come here and they come, they get all the land, they get all the funds and thing, and what go on with black, Hispanics and Native Indian man, they come back and be back in, work the way after, work the way up again to just to earn just a little money, just to feed the family and thing. When these other nations get the start for again from these other nations to set to always be above us, right?
Right.
So we're in July. Don't think that anything for July, right? Nothing for July. So we have in August here. Emancipation Day, and then after we are Independence Day, right? And then right, so now again when emancipation come around again, we people again into all these African costumes and African ceremony and African dance, and making me feel like again we Africans, when these Africans and them, we just on Facebook we just getting a drop and thing, because these things is things where we go really after take time to go through, but we just say that's like just a quick thing to show that all these things and them from the get-go, there's things we're not supposed to be celebrating, and there really is no use, but just doing that's a quick feed of all these things and them, right? So we check back Emancipation Day, right? Emancipation Day have nothing to do with black, Hispanics, and Native Indian, because we people when they come around, they feel it's Africans, when these Africans and them sold us into slavery. I say now you could go in the book of Joel. You can see this and all too in the book of Joel chapter 3. You could find this and all too. You could find this in Deuteronomy 28 and all too. You will find this and all too, right? And thing, right? So that one, right? Now when we go to Independence Day now, Independence Day come around, everybody here we independent and thing, but what we really doing is really giving the white man praises and thing, because now somebody who had you in slavery and thing now, and then after controlling you, and then after now they give you independence, and now you coming to celebrate independence every year and thing. We really giving the white man thanks for having you in slavery, and just acknowledging that, hey, you was my boss and thing, and this is reality right, and we not coming. So like all these things and them, like, you know, we blind and thing, and you know, they say holiday and thing, but you know, checking behind these holidays and the spirit behind all these holidays and them too. So they give independence and thing, and like, you know, we thanking England, right, for we being under them and thing, right, and serving them and thing, right. And so goes for all the other brothers and them in the other islands and them too, Jamaica, St. Lucia, all of them, and Independence Day come around the same way and thing again. I'm not knowing that again. You check this spirit behind this thing. We should never be celebrating no independence when they come around and all too, right? We shouldn't be all these things when they come with all these things like the national flag and the coat of arms and all these things. We are not right to be seeing these things. And them and all these things and them.
Right.
When you check out all these things and them, they really, this is the advantage what they did. They had blacks and Hispanics and Native Indians. So now they come with this thing and it have a nice big name and thing, but really wickedness behind this and all too. So we have no right to blacks, Hispanics and Native Indians to be celebrating no independence, celebrating no emancipation with all this African, this, because these are the people that was sold us to these are the people that was sold us to oppressors and them was sold us to the people and put us in slavery, right?
Right.
And give us independence and all too. So we have no right to be celebrating this, right? So you have in September here we Republic Day again, and next one almost similar to Independence again, and now is a Republic and things. So they bring you across here and thing. You leave, you mash up your whole structure, the way how you should be thinking, the way your culture and thing. You lost your culture, you lost the way how you should be dressing and thing, right? And everything else to do with the most. I know we are going to pick up somebody else's culture. So all these things and them, Independence Day, Republic Day and thing, and you lost your whole heritage, and now you have to pick up somebody else's heritage and thing and go along with it, when you should be looking forward to getting back your heritage. And your heritage is the Bible, right? Your heritage is the Bible. Your heritage is the law, statutes and judgments was set by the Most High, right? So all these things and them have nothing to do with the blacks, Hispanics and Native Indians, man, and them, right? So we're getting closer to where we is today. So we in October, right? And we in October, and we have an international international celebration, right? Some countries it is an international holiday we're coming up, which is Halloween, right? And some countries again they just observe it and take part in it, right? So some is an international holiday, and some is just observe it and take part, right? So and even the Prime Minister was thinking about this whole Halloween thing and all too, right? So let's show you again and thing and all too. That they show you the as long as these nations and them are wrong, that the influence and all too again, will it always come again. So again now, when you being somebody righteous something and you always been righteous, this is your influence. You always have to push against somebody are wrong, you say, hey, CB, I want to be just like that brother, and that person go always have a think of everything is when you have somebody now with wickedness and thing, right? And things not at the Musa and things. So when you see everything now, we always adapt into everything about America and thing, and there's nothing one good thing about America to say that you name one thing good that they does or do one thing or the oppressors and them do one thing. What do they do, the Mexicans and them, right? Right. The laws they set up against the Musa, homosexual laws and thing, right? Pedophile laws. They even set this year in some state. They set a law that you could grow a child from about 9 years, or 9 years or 10 years or something wrong there and all too again. So again, we keep on following things that these other nations and them again, and as we show again, God gave laws, statutes, and judgments to the nation of Israel. So you see now again we influence all these other nations what they just do and all kind of thing because there's not at the most, right? So now we come into we're in November, right? So this will be all November the 1st will be all Saints Day, and the 2nd will be All Souls Day, right? And then after now, even with that now, we have the Valley in the same month, right? Which is the 14th and all too. So at that time come around, we go be there to get the whole knowledge about all this and all to the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And I think we're not supposed to be taking part and all too, right? And thing too, right? Because again, we should be gathering with our people and thing, which is the Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians. So now again, so we are coming to these two international ones, right? Which is All Saints and All Saints, right? So, and then after we know, again in this month, we have the Valley, which again now, that will just be a local holiday, right? But again, to all the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, none of these holidays and them, we're not supposed to be taking part in, right? And we will see as the time goes by, right? So that was just a quick rundown of the holidays and them where it is, and then after that we still have Christmas to come, right? Which again when that time reach, right?
Right.
Give me Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 6 and 7.
Come. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, and verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
So now, again say this is the Musa, right? So again this is the Musa giving us things. This is the Musa giving us things to do one thing, and obviously, if the Musa giving us things to do, is obviously the Musa is of righteousness and thing, right? The Musa wouldn't want wicked. The only time the Musa will want wicked and think of doing wicked, and people don't know and all too. When we go and think, the people love to, all this thing, the Christians just love to tell you that, God is this nice and loving person, which God is loving, but also God also have, the Musa also have another side, right? And all too, right?
Right.
So the Musa, just like our children, that's like that's like home, how you want your family and thing, or love your children, and when the children go against you and thing, and thing, you'll do things and take away things from them and thing, right? You know, a child might like a certain cartoon and thing, and because he do something wrong, he'll tell me, you know, watching no cartoon and thing, right? So also the Most High also have another side of him. When we disobey him, he is going to punish us, right? So again, I don't have to say the rest and thing, right? So now, when the Most High give us laws, statutes, and judgments and things, and now, so now when we know that, hey, you know, we serving one power, we not serving no other gods, and you check out these other gods, these other nations, and them serving gods, they could go and build the god and thing. Then after now, when you check again now, and thing, they could go and buy the gods, and then after now, when you check and thing, right, some of the gods is animals and them and thing, right? So how you know you could take an animal where you see could come out from another animal and say, hey, that your god, and then after now again you're taking things like the water and thing and saying it's your god and all too. So now again, when you could come and say, boy, you could go and answer, but now when we go and pick up now and we start to follow these things and them now and say, hey, you're following New Year's and all these things and them, right? And when you check now, them thing and woman go, you're following Easter and thing now. Now you can say, but wait now. But you God chosen people, why you shouldn't be waking him? Because again, when you trading now, you should be able to answer everybody and say, hey, you're not supposed to be doing this and thing. You are the history to everything on the earth here. Because God, you the closest person to God on the face of the earth. You is the closest person to righteousness, and that is the nation of Israel. So now, when we go on now and we following all kind of thing now, these other nations have a right to say, well, you stupid just like we. Because as the Most High consider these other nations like nothing. Right? Let me get the second Ezra, the part where the Most High say these other nations is like nothing.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 56. And as for the I want to come to 55, right?
No sin.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 55. All this I have spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. Verse 56. As for the other people, which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel.
Right, so as the apostle was now reading the right, so he say, and all this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou hast made the world for our sakes, right? So now, when we check the standing, right? So this is the nation of Israel, right? So God said he make the world for our sakes, right? So now, everything you see here, right? The sea, the animals, all the vegetables, right? And most and all, and the biggest thing here, you see all these other nations and all too? These other nations and all is yours.
Right.
The Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians. The other nations and all is yours. So now, again, so God give you laws, statutes, and judgments, right? And thing, right? So now you getting orders. So now these other nations and all. So what the Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians was to do? Put these other nations in order and thing, right? So now, again, what we do now? These other nations and them above we and thing. Because why? So now when you check it now, we own these other nations and them, but right now, these other nations and them own me because we disobey the Most High. And the Most High all said, He made the world for our sake. So everything what you see today in the world today, and all them other nations and all want to claim and say, roti and chana and potato is them own, and then that we own. That belong to them. The Chinese food, and all and thing that don't belong to them and thing that belong to we and thing we is the ones who should be running this earth and thing. Everything with the Most High say he created for our sakes, right? So again, and now, when you go back now to verse 56, right? Say these other nations is like nothing, right? So now, again now, so we know, come just the same thing now, like these other nations, but now, we go on following all these things and make no sense and thing. So these are the nations nothing. So now we come in now. The people them who should be following, we come like them. So now we come like nothing. We come like nothing and all too. And when we should never be following these are the nations with the Most High saying is nothing and thing too.
Right.
When the Most High said all these things he created for the thing is for our sakes and things. So now you see that flip here. The black, Hispanics and Native Indian man, you need to come back to the laws, statutes and judgments of the Most High, right? Yo, give me Jeremiah 10 and 1 and 2.
Come on. Book of Jeremiah, chapter 10 and verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord hath speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them.
Right. So Jeremiah 10 and verse 2, right? So again, so I say when we check this now too, right? So the Lord talked to one nation, right? To and to show and all to we being God chosen people and all to with our way and all to the same spirit the Most High have. And think the same spirit we have and all too, the same way we talk and all too, the Most High talking and all too. So just like when you check this here and all too, so there again now, that's a show and all too, this Bible is a history book and all too, and this is a black man book and all too. So somehow we brothers and them, when we go down call we brothers and all too, we might say, hey, oh John, oh Brian, and thing, right? And thing, right? So it's like the same thing. So now look the same way the Most High coming, the same way and talking to we, O Israel, and all too, right? So here the Most High saying, O Israel, right? Do not follow the ways of the heathens and them, right? So again now, these heathens and them is the other nations and them, right? So again, a heathen again is somebody ungodly, but also is these other nations. It is what they're talking about in the Bible here. These other nations. So God. The Most High is pleading, hey, do not follow these other nations and them, black, Hispanics, and Native Indian, man. We have things we have to follow, right? And things like so just how we are going through all these things and them in the scriptures, all like high up and thing, all these holidays and thing. None of these holidays are ordained by the Most High and thing. All these holidays come from man, right? And we're not supposed to be following no man. We should be following the Most High, right?
Right.
So we have all saints and all souls, right? But I will just go through more or less go through the all souls day, right?
Right.
Because it almost close, but that's one more celebrating all these Christian, the all saints they more celebrating all these Christian pastors and them again, and we all know them Christian pastors, all them Christian pastors is about and thing always on homosexuality and then always raping, always some ritual and all these things and them, right? So it almost goes by more or less go through the All Souls Day instead, right? So All Souls Day, right? All Souls Day, also known as the commemoration of all the faithful and departed and the Day of the Dead, right? So now they're saying that is two things, what they say, they're saying now is two things here, and for the faithful and departed, right? So now, right, so that's like what I was trying to push in the all scenes, right? Mm-hmm. So all these priests and them, but also now they come, so now they realize now, right, do this now, like that's for the good men as them oppressors want to push, but there's nothing good about these other nations and them, right? And thing, right? The oppressors and them, right? So now then they come now and the Day of the Dead. So now they incorporate it now. So now they push the all for the faithful men, all the good men and them, and now they bring it in now for everybody now. So the Day of the Dead now. So this now will come now for a day for your wicked son, your good son, your wicked daughter, your good daughter, right? Teachers and all these different things and them, right? Is a day of prayer and remembrance for the souls of those who have died, right? So now, when you check back this and all too again, right? So again now, right? Every one of my friend who passed away, I know when they passed away, and I have my memories on them. I have my memories on them again in my head to know that, hey, yeah, but that was a very good partner, and I could still even today go and say, hey, the things this man used to do, and the time I had with him. So now this is exactly again why we not supposed to be following these other nations, because all these other things and them these other nations do, there's ordained days by themselves. And when we check the day and thing, right, all these days and them, right, who make the day and the night and thing, right? So when we check all these holidays and them, the same thing when we come into birthdays and all too, and we check birthdays and all too today and all too, right? So somebody born, so say for some reason now I born, right? So I born 1985. Right, and thing right. Then I come in today, and then I say, I go and celebrate my birthday today, and thing right. And I born 1985 and thing. So I said going with the date and thing right. And what's the year? And thing I said going with the date. So now you see again everything what Christianity push and thing is really of no sense. Like it make you get your brain and like your brain you're already walking on your brain. Because 85, that 1985 and we in 2020. And you saying how you gonna celebrate your birthday when that day don't go on already. The only person have memory of that day is your parents and all too. And this is how stupid Christianity is at the end of the day and all. So we're celebrating something that really of no sense and all too. So one, it is not ordained by the Most High for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to celebrate birthdays and things. And when you really check the logic on it and all too, you're born 1985. That's how I now say, and I in 2020. How could I be celebrating 85 when I'm thing that day don't go on already? So it's really when you really check all these things, it's really of paganism of no sense. And thing to it do not add up at any time and all too. And the Most High things that add up at any given time, right? The things that the Most High say to do is it will always add up at any time, right? And that's why we're not supposed to be celebrating no things when come across when any day come across except what the Most High say to set up. So when we go back in Genesis, that's the one. I'll go read it. So we're going in Genesis 1 and verse 3, right? And the Most High said, let there be light, and there was light. Right? And verse 4, and the Most High saw the light, that it was good, and the Most High divided the light from the darkness. And verse 5, and the Most High called it the light day, and the darkness he called it night, and the evening and the morning were the first day, right? So who created every day on the face of the earth? The Most High. Right. The Most High is the one in charge to say, well, hey, this day I want to be celebrating this and whenever time come around and thing, not you, because you're not in charge of making this place turn light when the night come. You're not in charge when the night come in to make darkness. You're not in charge of that and thing. The Most High could just make everything. The Most High could make darkness appear 3 o'clock in the day and then because that the person who in charge of everything right here, right? And that the man, this is the person we should be obeying, right? Just as how Peter was saying. Let me see. Acts 5. Acts 5 and Right. It's Acts 5 and 29. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey the Most High rather than man. And this is exactly what we should be doing, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian man, obeying the Most High. Following the things the Most High said than man. But
Right.
all these things were coming from all these Christian churches, all these Muslim mosques, makes no sense. When you add it up and thing, there's evilness and thing, and evilness against the Most High, right? And then evilness against all we brothers and them too, and then evilness and we sell when we out taking all we money, things are making no sense. When you check out again all these other nations them doing all these time is just to gain profit and all these things and them, because when and the thing today, right now them know that a lot of people be coming for candles, a lot of people be coming for candles to go and pour on them tombs and all them things, right? So them done pouring themselves on what candles they're going on thing, and guess what? We already know with these other one of these nations and them in the country, them culture is to burn and thing. But who's selling all the candles and them you going and get it from and thing? And then after now again, they're going to say all because again we not following the Most High again, we semi-demies and them and thing. We not following the Most High, we gonna run down candles and all these things and them.
Right.
And to hold up candles and take one dig hole for candle, worry yourself and all kind of thing. And we're feeling you're doing something good when you're not doing something good. And then after now, and again main important and most important, God had wrote again, because we have things we have to follow, right? And we disobeying we power, we disobeying the Most High.
Right.
So I go back. So those who have died, which is observed by the Christianity of the denominations, All Souls Day is often, although not exclusively in the Western Christianity, Saturdays. So now they're saying now that this year, this All Souls Day this celebration wasn't taking place on the Western Hemisphere here and this side, right? But we know how this ended up taking place. The I.S.U.P.K know why this ended up taking place on the Western Hemisphere here, because when we go through history and thing, right? The 12 tribe, right? 9.5 tribe ended up leaving, right? And 9.5 tribe ended up leaving, and they came to the West Indies and thing, right? And up come again Christopher Columbus again, come and say he discovered the West Indies and thing. When these tribes was here and thing, tribe of Zebulon, the tribe of Asher and thing, right? The tribe of I.S.U.P.K and all these other tribes on them here now. So now they come back and they court them, right? Now the same thing now when they court them now, they bring all these again now after that again. Who they send back now, they send back to Europe, and who remain here now, they push the same thing again happen now, they push back Christianity,
right.
They push back Christianity and them. So this All Souls Day was never observed on this Western Hemisphere. Why?
Right.
Because the reason why for all these Europeans on this side here was to hunt down the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians and them, right? Under Christopher Columbus, under Dundee Maria Shakan and all these other mercenaries and them, right?
Right.
Let me continue. Saturdays of Soul. It is related tradition more frequently observed in the Eastern Christianity. So now you see now how why it is now the outward thing now. So now the thing now they say more observed in the Eastern Christianity again now. So that was really practicing. The reason why these Europeans end up on the Western Hemisphere here and thing, is because of the nation of Israel been split, right? And also now when we go back and think, so the 9.5 tribe, which all today is all them, or we call them all them Hispanics and them, right? Them end up fleeing, right? So now after time come now, the same 2.5 and all two end up fleeing to Africa, right? Now we flee into Africa and thing, right? So I prophesied in Luke 21 where Christ was saying, when you see Jerusalem, that's power script and power praise in the scriptures. So when you see Jerusalem flee into the mountains and thing, right? So now we're gonna spending time with these Africans, and we're gonna spending time now with these Africans and them now. So ever from since again, we and them Africans and them always on a disagreement from ever since with Moses and Pharaoh. At it again, and what they do, they gather we up with these same Muslims and them. When you check back all these ships and them, the ships and them really belong to the Arabs and them too again.
Right.
And the solar center safe, and we come and meet we brothers. We come and meet we brothers in the West Indies here now too, right? So the Hispanics and them was here first, and that's why today we're not supposed to be going against. That's why we're not supposed to be going against all the Hispanics and them brothers and them and tell them, hey, don't come here and think, because them is really the ones who really claim this land, right? And think too, and when you check this now, so we them claim the land now and think, right? Now we come on them, we same brothers, we come on them land now, right? And now again, now who put in, who dividing with? Again, the same nation and them who divide we again, and all the oppression and all these things and them, and come again and the same oppression again, and they're making we go against we same Asherites and them brothers and sisters and them, which is the Venezuelans and them today right now, right? And thing, right? So again, what you're going on again to the same nations and them putting us against the own brothers and them, right?
Right.
So that's going back up a little bit. More frequently observed in the Eastern Christianity, practitioners of All Souls Day tradition often remember deceased loved ones in the various ways on the day. Beliefs and practice associated with the All Souls Day very widely among Christian churches and denominations. So you see again, so this as long as you're in Christianity and thing, this will always be there again. And you see again, so they didn't say for the Muslim mosques and them, they didn't say for Hindus and all them things. So they say they base it on Christianity again. So again, and then after when you check and all too, them when you go back up and all too, them end up setting this and all too from all these popes and them and bring it down, and said, you know, we all in this again, because we lost the history, everything, right? And these things again, when you check it back out again, it makes no sense at all, and all to think we're not ordained by the Most High to follow, right?
Right.
So we go into the scriptures again, and we go see again if we at any time when we people them pass away, if any time now we end up choosing any day to come back and say, well, hey, we following and thing, you'll never find anything in this scripture saying that, hey, we have a day to go and worship the dead, or go and pray to the dead, or go and talk to the dead, or go and bury, and go and decorate graves and all these things and them, right? So let me go to Genesis. Let me go to the forefathers. And them Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? So let me go to Genesis 25 and 8.
The book of Genesis, chapter 25 and verse 8. Then Abraham gave up the ghost and died in a good old age, an old man, full of years, and was back to his people.
Right. Read verse 9 from it too.
Book of Genesis, chapter 25 and verse 9. And his sons, Isaac and Ishmael, buried him in the cave of Machpelah, in the field of Ephron, the son of Zoar, which was before him.
Right. So now we see now that, right, so Abraham died, right? Now his son Isaac, right, bury him, right? So now we are going to, so now we see now which party was buried, right? So now we go into We're going to Genesis 35 and 29 now, right?
Book of Genesis, chapter 35 and verse 29. And Isaac gave up the ghost and died, and was gathered unto his people, being old and full of days, and his sons Esau and Jacob buried him.
Right. So same thing now again. So they come, that's the thing, they bury the son, they pass away, the son bury him, the parents and the children and bury him, right? Same thing now. So let me go to Genesis 50 and verse 13.
The book of Genesis, chapter 50 and verse 13. For his sons carried him into the land of Canaan, and buried him in the cave of the field of Machpelah, which Abraham bought with the field for a possession of a burying place of Ephron the Hittite before Mamre.
So now you see now, so same thing, same place, father, son, keep on burying, right? And when you go to the whole scriptures, you will never see, or you will just keep on seeing with blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian, we've been buried.
Right.
And thing I will never see that, hey, we want to give up the ghost, hey, let's see we bury, and that is the culture bury, and you will never hear anything that, hey, the blacks, Hispanics, and then we going back to the grave, and to put candles and have a day to praise the dead and all kind of thing. I think that is nothing our culture and thing.
Right.
All these heathen customs that I read in Jeremiah and thing. Moses said, do not follow the ways of the heathens and them and things. So all these heathen customs before and thing, do not tell us the part, and all we coming and thing, we're not supposed to be following it and thing, right?
Right.
So give me Ecclesiasticus 12 and 7.
Come on. The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12 and verse 7. Give unto the good, and help not the sinner.
No, that's not SHALAM, that's not
Ecclesiastes.
yeah, my bad. My Ecclesiastes, my bad.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 7. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto the Most High who gave it.
Right, so blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, when we die, right? When we die, the body goes back to the ground. All the sinews, everything, it goes back to the ground, right? We rot, and the spirit goes back to the Most High, right? And then, right, so see all these things and them were with them, that is die just it and thing. We die, the body rot, it goes back to the ground, rotten. The spirit goes back to the Most High, and from ever since, from when we go back from Adam, go straight back to Abraham, we go back to Christ, and all the and thing is the same thing. All Isaiah, Jeremiah, and all these things of them, same order come true. Even when you're reading in Solomon and all too, one way we born, and then one way we come back out and all too and thing, right?
Right.
And digest it with it is and thing, right? So whatever thing the Most High say for us to do, we do it and we do it. But he said not for we to do, and it's simple. And the Most High says laws and them is not grievous and thing. So we don't have to be doing these things and them and thing. Stay home. All who wait them, that is other nations and them go on. That is other nations and go on light the candle and thing whatever. Whatever you think when that time reach. Whatever movie you feel to go and watch and thing, we like put it on another night and watch a movie and thing. Put them 2 nights on them.
Right.
And thing. Whatever thing you might feel to bake a cake, make a punch and thing. Make a cake, make a punch, talk to your children and thing, and talk to your children home. Don't come out and know all so that first I know custom with it and all too. I can't say for long to try it and all too. All Souls night and all Saints night and thing. Stay inside and thing. That do belongs to you. And
right.
And thing, right? So I would just say like so that's to show again how we people always again know things. So this is how it thing to, and this to show how the government, all these things and all always tie in from all these other nations and all too. So I say again now, just how everything them like push down and all too. And things, so you see from where it starts in the Eastern Hemisphere, right? Now we come across to the West, and now you're going to see again. So this is something again now, what you're going on with the symmetries and the symmetries and them now, right? So now you get to see now, the government and them is involved in this again too. So just like how that's how they're bringing in all these laws, burglary laws and homosexual laws and all these things and them. You're seeing it now again. All these things and them, in the system here, right? So now you'll get to see something going on with these symmetries and them, right? So if you watch carefully, right, you're gonna see they start to cut the grass, right? Because this Sunday here is the All Saints Day, right? And All Souls Day, that will be the Monday, right? So now you see now that they start to cut the cemetery. And who paying for that? The government paying for that and thing too again, right? So you see again how from government from quite soon out it incorporated to the government and them and the same orders and thing passing and thing. So we is not free and thing, right? So we following the customs of the oppressors and them and thing. We're not no free country and thing, right? So now you see now separation with the grass. If you watch it, you go see a part of the you always see the part of the grass, one part of the grass in cut, and now you see it cut, right? So now, all right, so I'm bringing it again. This is all them tombs and them graves and these all these tombs and them graves and them. You see again, they don't clean up the cemeteries for the people them to come and put the candle, talk to the dead, praise the dead, and thing, and then after go and talk all these memories and them. When they got all them memories of the woman and thing whatever and thing, and then after again most important, anoint a day not ordained by the Most High. You're going to follow.
And so like I said,
go ahead.
Yeah, and when as they show in a day, right? It only goes to show how the government does, and all these religious institutions does add to keep the holiday to go forward, because by them cutting the grass in the cemetery and thing, they're encouraging this pagan holiday to continue.
Yeah.
Understand? Because now people saying that now and seeing all these cemeteries cleaning now, right? Thinking that is something they should do to go and light up the graves and they're encouraging that environment to build for them.
Yeah, good point, Officer Mike bring up. And things. So see again how we think all the government and all these institutions and them said just like how as you are bringing up and all 2 days one. So the government and also when you check that carnival and all too again, right? So carnival is set by the Christian church and thing, and also now the government and all push the carnivals and them to get all the profits and all these things and them. So the profits and all the businesses and all them things say all these things tie. The Christian church is tying to the government and them. And as they now see again, the Christian church is tying to the government and them too again. That is, as you know, if you bring out again, instead of the cleaning up the place for you all to go and celebrate these things when it's not ordained by the Most High, which all the things is really paganism, right?
And so like if I want to, right? Because you're bringing out a heavy point there, right? And even in the government and the Christian church coming together to push these holidays, right? When you look at it, when people go and celebrate all things like All Saints and things like that, when they buy all these candles, who's selling it? You understand?
Other nations and them.
Right? The other nations, who's selling it? And we know when you go in the cemetery, there's thousands of candles, right? That's selling, right? And with the price of a candle, like probably $5, some of them be bottle candles like $10 for one, right? And if at least, like down here in Trinidad, we have 1 point something million people, right? So we want to go so high that we just say 20,000 people buy one candle for $10. You understand? It's thousands of dollars. So that revenue going up in the millions. So them making a killing.
So that's and Officer Michael, right? So as you know, say and all too, right? So if 20,000, the population is 1.3 million, right? So if 20,000 people buy a candle at $10, right? That's 200,000, right? And things. So you see how all these pagan things always push again with all these business and the governments and them, and again, none of these government care about the Most High and things, right? When you check all these people and then we are put in to be in control and to run the country and things, there's not the Most High and things, because first thing, but that should always be the first thing on somebody's mind about the Most High. But all these things again, the government is not about the Most High, the Christian church is not about the Most High, and all them business people is not about the Most High neither. Right. All about gain and things, right? So now we're watching this one now, right? So watch this now, right? So the government come and cut out the cemetery, right? Watch this now, right? So somebody there, right? No see, because now if they don't think they might have gone look for somebody else to cut the grass to finish cut around the tomb. So watch how clean this tomb, these 3 tombs not preaching already. So them done, and this is just the day, right? I take these pictures on them, right? So these people, what the tombs on them? Tombs on them is ready. They clean up the tomb, they come and they finish, move away all the fine grass now. So the government do the part now. So I say now, as Officer Michael, you know, so now they influence the people now to come and put your candles on them now. So you see now, so they come and take the energy, and the same way now talking about you come and wear yourself and thing, you wear yourself, you go and do all these things, and you're feeling you're doing something good when it's going against the Most High.
Right.
And thing, right? The Most High had wrote for you doing this Black, Hispanics and Native Indian. I can't give you all the whole cemetery and thing, right? So there's another tomb again, see again, the government finish with the part, and then after the people and whoever family members is that now, them come and finish, them finish come and do the part. So all they're just waiting for now is the day of All Saints and the day of All Souls to come and drop the candles on them, and they come with the whole family members on them, and they come and wherever they pray and wherever thing they think, and they're feeling that is of the Most High, when them think not the Most High and thing, right? When all these things of the oppressors and all the oppressors and them is of paganism and thing.
Right.
But they serve other gods, which we have really have seen. We fathers know. We fathers don't know about, we fathers do not know about these things and them, right? Come on, Hosea 4:1.
The book of Hosea, chapter 4 and verse 1. Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel, for the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of the Most High in the land.
Right. So when we check again today and thing, and you see everything was going on and all too again, right? And thing, all these different, if we have all these different nations and them here and thing, and none of these nations and them is not at the Most High and thing, right? When we watch wrong and thing, we have East Indians and them here and thing, right? Again, when you watch wrong, them again, they have them full about 300 million gods and thing, right? The animals is a god and thing. That they have gods that they have their own people with 4 hands and all these different things. What the Chinese and them the same thing. Them Chinese them have the thing again, a set of controversy. Them not agreeing with thing. When we know in the midst of all these other nations and we in the midst of all these other nations and them too, right? And thing too, right? And again, we are black Hispanics and them, we were never to be, right? We were never to be among these other nations and them and thing, right? So now we getting incorporated with all these other things and them. Now we brothers again, when we check back again, marijuana smoking and thing, we know that come from the East Indians and them. Now we brothers picking it up and all these things. Things were the Most High not ordained for us to smoke and thing, right? And thing, right? And then after that, they take full advantage of us and thing. Because these are the nations, you know, they're just waiting for we to do something wrong just to gain and all to gain profit, and we are all to the same, we are all to. So that's like again things again not ordained by the Most High and all too. Where we feeling as godly things we're doing, they're just waiting to gain profit. When we go against each other and all too, here now they come with all these East Indian lawyers and ready to take up cases. Now again we don't know already now. Somehow we looking to take we grandmother pension to bail you out and thing. That's for you to get bail, and then after now, that's for you now to represent you. And then after now, if not so now, you're riding up and down with all these amalgamated and security van which owned by all these Syrians and them, and I check how much again for the year, millions and all these things and them. So these other nations don't want to see black, Hispanic and Native Indians get right and thing. But right. One person want to see you get right, which is the Most High. The Most High want to see you black, Hispanics and Native Indians get right. Most High want to see you come back to him, right? Right. And give me same verse now, give me verse 6.
Come. The book of Hosea, chapter 4 and verse 6. My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. For I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, saying, thou hast forgotten the law of thy power. I will also forget thy children.
So, when we were wrong today, right? So we were destroyed for lack of knowledge. So now, and thing now, we call them ourselves Trinidadians and thing, right? So that one. Then after when we go now, so that place, so that thing we call ourselves Jamaican and thing, right? Then after now, when we go now, so that I get more bad now when we go to America now. So we have brothers calling themselves African American. We have 2 continents. How 2 continents could be a race of a people and thing. When these other nations them exactly know who they is. The Arab man will know that he's an Arab. The East Indian man will know he's an Arab. The Chinese man will know that he is a Chinese and thing, right? They will also know the biblical names and thing too, right? And all too, right? So now again so we get caught, we lose, we die one. So now we think no, again now we lost again, we destroy for now, not knowing that hey, we as the nation of Israel, we as God chosen people, right? That thing again. Then after now again, we not knowing that hey, we should be above all these other nations and them. All these things were prophesied in the Bible and thing, right? Again, we know that hey, we have dietary laws, we have to keep now we following all these other pagan laws, eating all pork and thing, and and crab, lobster, shark, all these things are destroying everybody and things. So we lost our whole heritage and things because we destroy.
Right.
And right? But they will I.S.U.P.K now bringing back all this knowledge back to we, right? So now even and all too, when we check the day and all too, we have all we feast days and things, right? The things what the Most High would deign for us to follow, right? And thing and that we do not know and thing, right? So that's how we run through. That's how we run through all these holidays and them, all these international holidays, all these local holidays and thing, right? Where we following and thing, and where we should not be following and all too. These are the holidays and them where we should be following and thing, right? And really and truly and all these holidays and them is really, really nice. Come to the I.S.U.P.K, come and learn your culture, come and know who you is, right? Come and learn the Most High laws, statutes and judgments, right? And
right.
Thing, right? So that's going to run through some of the things we should be celebrating and all, right? With the Most High would deign for us to celebrate, right? So this is the list of the feast days where the Most High would deign for us to follow when them time come around. Nothing else we not supposed to be following, right? And thing, right? So this is it, right? So you know when the Sabbath and them come around again, we might be able to keep the Sabbaths and them how we should be keeping them, because you know we all your oppressors and them, right? So we not in our rulership right now, right? So somehow we will be able to keep the Sabbaths and them. And some of you might not be able to keep the Sabbath, but come to the I.S.U.P.K and you'll get better understanding about how to go about all these things and them, right?
Right.
The I.S.U.P.K is the one who bringing back all this knowledge and statutes and judgments onto the nation of Israel, right? And letting people know who they are and letting know the culture, everything, right? And letting know the things what you should be following in the world and thing, right? And what you can do and what you could do and thing, right? And thing, right? Because a lot of these things through Christianity and thing, you might be thinking you're doing something right and that time is something wrong, and the thing you're thinking you're doing wrong, it could be right and all things. So now again, come to the I.S.U.P.K, learn your culture, learn your history, know who you is, right? Know who your brothers is and thing, right? And come back to the Most High, because the Most High waiting for you to come back to him, right? So we had the Most High Sabbaths and them. Then after we had the Most High Passovers and we had the Most High Passover. Well, that's a quick rundown, you know. This is the Passover where my grandson asked, but this is where it is, you know. This is where the Passover where he destroy the Egyptians and them, right? Kill the firstborn and thing, and from that now, you know, we celebrate that, right? And you deign that for we to celebrate the Passover, right? Then we have the feast on 11 bread, right? So again the Egyptians and them same thing coming along the line. They didn't want to give up. They didn't want to give up on we, because you know they had us in bondage and things. So all that niceness and thing, they couldn't believe that they could give up and let we go. So now we on the run now, so we couldn't eat the way how we eating. So now we had to go and make bread with our things, so we can't leave it out the way how we leave bread to raise and rice. So this was to eat and go, right? That's our quick run through, right? The feast of first fruits, like more or less like something to, they say like more brotherhood, like what the Most High go tell you know, wherever you plant and thing, leave it for the strangers and them. So and things, so like the poor and thing, now you could have something, if the poor come to you, could feed your brother and thing, your sister, right, your neighbor, all them thing, right?
Right.
the memorial blowing of trumpets, right? So this was a time now this would be a time now to warn any dangers in Israel right now. So right now the I.S.U.P.K now is the memorial blowing of trumpets. Now this is where we warning you all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian, letting you know that hey, you as God chosen people and thing, we have laws, statutes, and judgments to follow. And now, if you don't follow these things, you will pay the price for it. And things so too with these other nations and them, right? So black, Hispanics, and Native Indians here, you all need to come back to the Most High and things. So this is what you give now. Right now, this is the warning. This right now, this is the memorial blowing of trumpets with that begin with Israel. So now your warning now here is to come back to the Most High, come back to the Most High, keeping back the Most High laws, statutes, and judgment. And the only way you're going to get to do that is the I.S.U.P.K under commanding Gen.YAHANNA, right? Come back and learn your laws, statutes, and judgments, right?
Right.
So that's running through some of the feast days and them, right? Then after now we have the day of atonement, right? Where we afflict with spirit, right? The thing where we need the most is that's a show, like, you know. So this is that they are fasting for 24 hours. So that's like now to move away all the things now what bothering you. So now now you start to do this thing now. So now it will help you now in moving away the things where you're getting problems within the world and thing, right? Your own loss and thing, right? So move away from that, right?
Right.
After the atonement, we have the Feast of Tabernacles again. More or less now again from the same time with more or less with Pharaoh and thing now again. We know we on the move. We was on the move and thing again. We was building tents and thing just to sleep and thing. Cause again Pharaoh again he didn't want to let go the nation of Israel, so we was on the run, right? And the feast we have the feast dedication, or also known as Hanukkah, that will be coming up very soon, right? That now more or less you'll find that in the book of Maccabees now what these other nations wanted us was to, and this one will kind of show you now that, you know, that it had men and them, it had men and thing with it had men was naturally obeying the Most High, you know, like when we think back now, they wanted us to force we to eat pork and thing, and you see now that hey, so now this is the part of the Bible here now where they see whether that build men, you see strong men and strong women and thing, because a lot of these things in the Apocrypha, you see it even with the women with his sons and all too, the same way they want to eat the pork and all too, and all of the go against all these other nations and them, and they love the Most High and serve the Most High and all too again, right? So all this and all too, another scripture to show, like, you know, how had men was obeying the Most High and thing, and had that love for the Most High, right? And Purim, after I think we have Purim, right? So this now was with a woman. Name was Esther, right? She more or less now was like getting men. No, this was no. So like Christianity, in Christianity, like the people, the Christian church will read this and think that this woman was a prophet or something, but this woman just was encouraged was to go and fight. Right, fight back get the men courage, the nation of Israel courage, right? So she end up dressing up and thing, put back herself an Israelite woman, how we should be looking at an Israelite woman out, and how she was able now to, with all the attitude she have, was able to reach up high amongst all these general, and she end up prosecuting them and thing, right? And take back end up cutting off his head, take it back to the people of Israel, and many of them was able to go back and fight the way of the other nations and them, right, with the spirit of the Most High. So most important and all too everything where you see with all these other men and all too, who have been fighting through these scriptures and things. When we check back with Samson, we check back with with David and things, we check back with Saul. Even when we see when Saul go off and things, but even when Saul was in time serving the Most High, all these men and them, because they've been serving the Most High, the Most High was with them, right? So the same thing again when we check back with Esther and thing. The Most High was with her, the Most High was with David, the Most High was with Samson, right? And thing, right? The Most High was with Saul at a certain time until he decided to go against the Most High, right? So again, all these things and them you see here and thing is the things, what we call out here is the things and them we should be following and thing. And the Most High feast is pretty cool, pretty fun, not like the Christian church. You will enjoy yourself, you will laugh, you will praise the Most High and thing, right? And most important, you will gather with your people. Because when you check back all these laws and them here and thing, so all these things that the Most High set is for the nation of Israel and thing. And most important when these things come around is to gather blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians and thing, right? And with that, I will pass the class to Priest and Officer Mike.
This is the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding Gen.YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or a sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if your brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak, in which the brother or sister will court each other. After the 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry, tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers chapter 18 and verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3 verses 8 to 10, means tenth in the Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashra. 10% of any increase the Lord gives you, you give to the treasury department or teacher. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation. The upcoming Holy Convocation is the Feast of Dedication, otherwise known as Hanukkah, which is the 25th day of the 9th month by the space of 8 days, which will start Wednesday, the 9th December 2020. You can find this in 1 Maccabees chapter 4 verses 52 to 61. Remind Akim and Aquathium to check on social media, such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on, for I.S.U.P.K events and materials. If your brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, like shirt, like pants, like headbands or scarf, and with that we say I imagine. Sir, we're going to turn and face the east and begin with the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabashamayim, Kwadash, Aya, Shamka, Yahweh, Malapaka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Aya, Aisha, Baratiza, Kawa, Haya, Bashamayim, the Tandanawa, Lakam, Kal, Yawam, Wasalakno, Kawawatno, Kasalakno, Kawawatno, Wala'a, Tabayanawa, Banasayawan, Abal, Awashino, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wahala, Wataparat, Iwalamia, Aman.
What you just said, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as it is in heaven. Give us this day, our daily bread, and forgive our debts, as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Amen.
We're going to say the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh. Wa Yahawashi. Wa Makala. Wa Alahayim. Matazabia. Alawapian. Ha Alawapian. Ha Saraniam. Ha Kwatazayaniam. Ha Kayalianiam. Wa Akwatiam. Yahweh. Ba'ashem. Yahawashi. To Wada Aman.
In the English, bless you Yahweh, and Yahawashi, and Michael, and the angels, commanding GEN.YAHANNA, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahawashi, thank you.
We thank you.
So be it.
We're going to say the Hakak, or the power in the Hebrew, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Babukasha, the Tananawa, Hakak, the Rapa, Kalmakala, Kalmadawa, Hakak, Lataha, Hatamazarium, Hakak, Lahakoyam, Hamatayam, Hakak, Irakawat, Hatamayala, Lagarashan, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, to Wada Aman.
What we just said, Yahweh, the name of Yahawashi, please give us the power, the power to heal, all manner of sickness, all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, cast them out, in the name of Yahawashi, thank you,
we thank you,
so be it. This is the I.S.U.P.K curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, the name of Yahawashi, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction, to the heathens that speak against us. Thy prophets, the teachers, the prince, the priest, the Israelite brothers, and the school, send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction, to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel, that refuse to give to the school, force their riches, to enter in thy sanctuary, send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction, to the Edomites, and the nation, and the drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, I'm blessing God's armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Area Nation, Skinheads, Fording the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA Space Program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet, and the airways, the cable access channels, the radio channels, convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand our way, or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let's look all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro throughout the earth, and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief, and the murderer. Let Yahawashi, Michael, and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers, and punish all the heathen that come up against us, as we speak thy word, cause it to be known by all, as the angels have done it, cause it to be spread through the media, through the whole world, cause them to shake off thy comment, in the name of Yahawashi. Thank you always. So be it.
We're going to say the blessed Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem,
Yahawashi,
Barakanawa, Vayashala, Abayat, Saparium, Barak, Magan, Hagan, Salakia, Barak, Rapa, Magan, Hagan. Commanding GEN.YAHANNA,
the generals,
captains, officers, troopers, sisters, children, all those fighting to come to the truth, and all the destroyed of Israel.
Brothers and sisters in the I.S.U.P.K,
brothers
and sisters fighting coming to truth, children and babies in the I.S.U.P.K, Francois family, Wrong family, Zion, Wesleyan, Daniela, Jamelia, Ashira, Nima, Khadijah, Chantel, Trisha, Myelin, Ashida.
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahushai,
Yahushai,
Tawadaman.
Tawadaman. What we just said. Lord, in the name of Yahushai.
Lord, in the name of Yahushai,
Bless us.
bless us.
And Israel.
And Israel.
And the school.
And the school.
Bless.
Bless.
Heal.
Heal.
Shield.
Shield.
Protect our loved ones.
Protect our loved ones.
In the name of
In the
Yahushai.
name of Yahushai.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it. Sir, men of Israel, let's give the teacher a one courtesy salute. Amajim Shabbat. Amajim Barak. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Bakatom.
Yahweh Hashem Yisrael.
Yad Yad Bata. Men of Israel, let's give the sisters online a one courtesy salute. Amajim Shabbat. Amajim Barak. Yahweh Shabbat Latan Ba'ashem Yahushai. Yad Yad Bata. Class dismissed.